Welcome to another electrifying episode of the Mixtape Queens podcast, where we dive deep into the heart of music and the stories behind the songs and the artists who create them. We are your hosts, Amanda and Elise. Thank you for tapping in. For those of you who have already listened to our podcast, we genuinely appreciate you. For those of you that haven't already, you could just take a moment and hit that follow or subscribe button. We genuinely appreciate it. We love you. And don't forget to hit that notification bell because, baby, we got more coming. Also, don't forget to leave a review down in the comments below. Today, we are rolling out the red carpet and turning the spotlight on a trio that's been setting the Brooklyn scene on fire with their raw energy, killer tracks, and explosive performances. You know who we are already talking about. Of course, we're talking about adding color. Welcome.
So today we have Kiko.
Yes.
And Kiko, you are the lead singer, guitar, piano. You are independent artist and band. You do it yourself. You're a songwriter. You mentioned that you had jazz and orchestra background, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen you play the guitar and sing and piano. You're super talented and your band is so cool. We're so excited to have you here.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
Thank you.
Yes.
And
multifaceted, first of all.
Yeah. So Amanda and I, we both love all genres of music.
Mm-hmm.
And we grew up with rock and roll, everything, all types of music. And, as the Mixtape Queens, we started making playlists with different genres and streaming platforms and stuff like that. So we decided to make one called the Rock the World Mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
And we're scrolling, we're looking for cool music, up and coming artists. And we stumbled upon you drowning. And
I made it.
It blew our minds. We were like, hold on. First of all, because you're drowning. Second of all, because the lyrics. We're like, is this guy okay? Like, maybe we should check on him. So, we did a little more research and we realized that, you guys are just cool.
Wow,
we started listening to your music and then we dove into the music videos on your YouTube, and there's some weird stuff going on. And also really cool and creative visualizations, along with the different styles and types of music you have. Because y'all are a rock band, but you have different sounds. And, like one of the songs that obviously the first one that we loved.
Was it Disposable?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Disposable was the first one.
Disposable.
Who I Am.
I love
and there's several others that we listened to. We're like, these guys rock.
Y'all, and your sound is so freaking cool. Like it's you guys, but it's almost like I've never heard anything quite like it. But if I could describe it as best as I can, it would be like a mixture of Linkin Park meets 30 Seconds to Mars meets something else that makes you guys. Yeah, but there's something else that makes you guys like really stand out, and your sound is so good. But if that was like, oh, this is actually good. I will actually play this. Oh, my favorite song. That's the one you were thinking about. Rewind.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the first one we heard. That's the very first one. I love that one so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I always love hearing people's opinions on what we sound like because we go to so many places and I hear so many different ones and I'm like, I can hear that. I can hear that. Yeah. So
yeah.
I grew up on
you guys are
Park, so I'm
cool.
sure it made its way in there.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your sound and your band like the lyrics and the vibe to somebody who's never heard you?
Um, I mean, there's many ways I can answer that. I'm going to go a little way, the long way, because I want to touch on some of the things you said about, especially about rock. You know, I think that we are rock, a band, kind of a rock band, but I found that rock music started taking this direction where it's so much about, it almost became like cosplay of rock, where it was like, you know, brand endorsements and like just trying to be really cool. And it was like this cold energy. And for me, rock was always about something very visceral and emotional. And I feel like we all have emotions that need to be addressed. And it's like we're not always going to look cool in our leather jackets and feel like we're on top of the world. And don't get me wrong, I love that kind of music sometimes when I'm, you know, getting in. But what for us, we had so much we want to talk about on an emotional level. So I'd say our music is very emotional and dramatic in a way. We are Latino, so I think we have to let that out somehow. And we've joked around saying we're like metal Bee Gees because we harmonize so much, but we have like big rhythm sections. But I'd say it's almost like an industrial um, influence, heavy metal adjacent band with a lot of vocal harmonies and a really intense rhythm section. In some songs, it's a little more obvious. We're from Brazil, so we bring in a lot of our Brazilian elements in subtle ways. You know, we don't want to just sound like, oh, here's a samba band, but like if you start digging deeper, a lot of the syncopations are very Brazilian. Um, so yeah, I know that was a long answer, but it's kind of like a big salad of all the things I love. So that's
Yes.
Yeah, I like
No,
that.
we love that because, there's something really beautiful about hearing how strongly you guys love your culture to still implement that in your sound. And I think you're absolutely right. Not just about rock, but like in music in general, a lot of stuff now is about how you look, what kind of brand endorsement you have. And there's a lot of music out there that may be mainstream that people know about that is, not that it's not good, but it lacks heart.
yeah,
It lacks that emotion, that feeling. Like when you used to listen to, just for example, you used to listen to a Linkin Park song, you knew what he was talking about and you
yeah,
felt it. He made sure you felt it. They made sure you felt it. And there's something so powerful about being able to exhibit that emotion through your music and like have other people understand it with you. And you guys do that incredibly.
thank you.
Like incredibly. We love it. Like she was just singing your song. I don't know if I can make the beat. You ready? You ready?
Do it, do it.
I don't know if that's the beat, but you gotta sing it? No? Yeah, well, you got
That
we're trying, we're trying.
was great. That was awesome.
Thank you. I tried to get that beat down. I was like, I got it.
It's so
But
amazing to just to, not to nerd out on that, but you know how you're hearing the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, which is
yeah,
like one of like 20 layers of rhythm, and some people hear like. So I just love that like everyone hears a different undertone,
yeah.
you know. So
Yeah,
Yeah. I grew up around uncles who were in the music industry doing like
yeah,
lighting for concerts and all types of stuff. So, and like my uncle Steve, shout out to Uncle Steve, he would like wake me up in the morning for school with the drum set. And then he would let me play the drum set. And then he would hang out with all these different artists, rock stars, hip hop artists, different stuff. And
yeah. Stay
yeah,
that's so
tuned for
cool.
our
yeah,
next instrumental.
performance.
And you're keeping the legacy going, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
But
pretty
yeah,
much.
I wanted to touch something you said about like Linkin Park too, about like how just an example of one of these many bands that like go all the way with the emotions. It's like, you know, it's so much easier to be ridiculed when you are vulnerable like that, which is why I think so many people play it safe and just focus on acting cool, especially in the age of like social media and Instagram, where one thing that you know, in vulnerability, there's a lot of mistakes that could come out, and that stuff is on the internet forever now. And I think people have become so scared of what they're gonna, you know, if it's gonna be cringe, if it's gonna be this, but like art should be about being willing to be cringe. You know, if it's real, like who gives a crap if you're cringe? I don't care. You
Yeah.
know. So I
Yeah.
think that that's something that's been a shift that I like. We're really focused on. It's like even like the opening of that song, "I'm your slave, I'm your whore." It wasn't the original lyric, But then it came out, and we're like, "Are we doing that? Hell yeah, let's do it. Fuck it." Yeah. And people somehow it resonated. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's fire. It's fire.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is sick, actually, because I'm a huge fan of lyrics and
Yep.
wordplay. So when
Yep.
you can say it a certain way and give it that certain emotion, I'm like, okay, I'm hooked.
Yep.
Download.
And that's why we want everybody to stream your music. And we'll have all of the links in the description. Also, y'all have to see Added Color on YouTube. Just
Yes.
check out their videos. They're
Actually, pause this right now. Just pause it for a second. Click those links below.
Take a break while you go
Tap in.
and watch.
Do that.
Yeah, watch those videos for inspiration.
Yeah, you won't regret it.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Okay, so tell us something. If your band was stranded on an island, which of you would be the most resourceful one?
Given that I'm alone here, I could say it would be me, but probably Tim. I'd say Tim is the guy. He always has the tricks up his sleeve, and he's done some. Though, though I think I'm the only one who's ever hunted and skinned an animal and gutted it and ate it. So maybe the two of us would be a good team. Definitely not Dan. Dan would just be like taking naps while we did everything. But I'd say Tim, and then yeah, I'd say Tim to be humble, but definitely me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a cool answer because you know what? Even though Dan might not be
Dan's up
as
to
skilled in that area,
Tim's like the dad.
you know what? He can hold it down at the fort
Definitely, definitely.
while you guys go handle your business and come back.
He'll make the drinks for us because hopefully
Yeah,
we'll be stranded with a few bottles or something.
there. Right, right. Love that.
Yeah, some rum.
Exactly.
Okay, let's see. If you had to choose an animal to be your spirit animal, what do you think it would be?
Platypus. I don't know. I'm not. I'm just kidding. I'm
Oh,
not
because I was like,
sure.
that's so
No,
close
you
to
know,
mine.
platypus are pretty badass. They do
Actually,
build, and they're resourceful as hell.
yeah.
They're cute as hell too. And I wouldn't fuck with a platypus. So yeah, I'm gonna go
No.
with platypus.
Okay, because mine is sea turtle. What's yours?
Platypus? Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't. I wouldn't even approach it. There's no way.
There's a duck, beaver. I don't know. It's cool.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I would be. Maybe like a poisonous frog because if you bite me, your ass is grass.
Yeah.
If you touch me, your ass is grass.
I have a cousin
So,
who decided to pick up a poisonous frog in like Costa Rica, and he almost died.
see,
Oh no!
ass is
He
grass.
shouldn't have done it.
That shit. That's
Exactly.
not
Like that's
not a good thing.
It's
Yeah,
if they smoke
yeah, I want to be the mystical toad.
Bufo. Yeah.
the
There you go.
Bufo.
the
I want to try.
DMT toad.
Yeah, I'll show you some tricky shit.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so who comes up with the ideas for these crazy videos?
Mm.
I know y'all are independent. Y'all do a lot of your own creative things like marketing and branding. Being an independent artist these days, we know how it is. A lot of our viewers are independent artists as well.
Hmm.
How do you get inspired for these videos and how do y'all come up with the ideas?
We usually have a little well, first of all, we talked about, what colors is everyone seeing in these songs, and like what are the emotions that we want to truly, portray in this. I think a lot of music videos will be, a story about the song, but I kind of, for our thing, I think we like to make it so it's more like a portrayal of the emotions that are going on in the song. Um, and then there's the budget. We're like, shit, we don't have much money. Like the Rewind video, we shot on an iPhone and a budget of $20. I went to the dollar store and bought a bunch of clocks and, did that. Um, so a lot of it is just dealing with working within the budget, but also finding like ideas that I think are representative of the the emotions going through the song, right? So disposable. There's something about water in that song that I just felt was very strong and kind of feeling like you're trying to come up for air a lot, right? So that's where the idea of being drowned in a bucket, like, was that's we kind of went with that. And then I thought this idea of having like Daniel came over and we there's a shot that's like, you know, and this will be in the final music video that drops in a few weeks. But we kind of threw like a bunch of black bath bombs into the tub and lit it in a way with our friend Taurus. Shout out to T Pelly, the guy's like a camera genius who helps us a lot with what we do. And just kind of this idea of being this black void. We like to have themes throughout our songs. Void is a big one. You'll see that in a lot of our music videos. There's like shots that you're kind of like in this lost void because it's almost representative of the mind and the corners of the mind, and that's where a lot of our music goes. So yeah, to answer my question, every video starts with a conversation and then we'll kind of like find the location we want to do it and figure out the shots. But a lot of it is really about the budget. And we're like, all right, what are we going to do? How are we going to make this look really cool with these little things? And I think that kind of adds to the character of the video because it feels there's like an honesty with it that I really love. Like there's something about DIY videos that I think have a really interesting characteristic. You know, they're not like overshot because you can't do it. So like it's how do you find creativity with the limitations that you're dealt with, you know? So yeah, that's kind of what we do. And every video has a little bit of a different story. The Money Pull Out Door video, I don't know if you watched that. We were on tour in Florida and we were like, let's go to a break room and do a one shot music video where we just break shit and we just like choreographed our the camera movement and like me singing in it. So it's all one shot. And that song, you know, was about the Amazon and our Brazilian president at the time, Bolsonaro. So it was we kind of wanted to have that angst. So it's once again, it's like the emotion of it being encapsulated with the video. So
Yep. We saw that video of you guys smashing stuff.
I thought that one was hilarious and it was perfect for me because I just love when you grab I think it was the megaphone with
yeah,
the mask on, and I laughed so hard. So I
yeah.
was like, this is pure entertainment. It is.
Because we
Truly.
actually used the megaphone on the recording. So we were like, let's do it for real.
Nice. Okay, yeah. I love that. I love when artists can get creative with their stuff and just make it different than other things that you see other people doing all the time. It's like a repeat of what's going on out here.
Yeah, and it's a true testament to creativity and thousands of artists and really millions of artists that are independent using excuses like, oh, I don't have a big budget or I don't have a label or I don't have, my family doesn't, you know, all the excuses. It just goes to show you can do a lot with a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The creativity is just great.
Yeah. Okay. Also, so I just want to touch on the music video one more time because I have this question.
Please.
It's like in the back of my mind. Okay. So when you guys are shooting for music videos, has there ever been a moment where you guys are like outside recording something for promo and other people are walking past you and they're like, what the hell are they doing over there?
We
I
used
just
to
think that's funny.
I used to get embarrassed at first when we were getting started. Now it's like I really don't give a fuck. And it's pretty funny. It's almost like, all right, they're walking by, I'm gonna like make it weirder. So they're like cross the street. And if they cross the street, I've succeeded, you know.
Oh my God.
They're
Yeah.
like, these TikTokers?
Exactly. Yeah. But I will
Yeah.
say most of our music videos, most of them are in a controlled environment. Like except for I don't know, we did a cover of an Iron Maiden song called Fear of the Dark. And it was like our kind of our style. We shot it in a park here and we set it all up. And there was this one guy who was just like drunk and kept trying to interfere and was saying some really sketchy things. And we're like, let's just get these shots and get the hell out of here.
Is
So,
that the one where y'all are sitting on the bench and Dan is like singing too?
yes, that one.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that one was kind of creepy.
Yeah, it was a little, it gave the vibe.
Yeah, it was a Halloween inspired. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
it
that?
was definitely
I love
gave what you wanted to give.
Well, there was a dude yelling things like he was going to kill us all. So it definitely gave us vibes. So,
Oh, ugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
like
I
you're
know about
alone in the
that.
park. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Um,
That's crazy. Okay, so what are some social issues that you guys are passionate
Um, well, there's so many problems in the world, so there's a lot that were, you know, I grew up. There's, you know, the things that we do that personally. Like I grew up in Brazil. There's a huge social discrepancy, so I used to do a lot of community work in like the slums and build houses for people in Northeast and things like that. Um, but what ties the whole idea is, I think, is that everyone has the right to agency and everyone has the right to be who they truly are, and that's what our music talks about. So one thing that for me is just, within the LGBTQ and sexual expression is a big part of, and identity and and freedom to be who you are is a big part of what we talk about and what we live. My personal life and all our personal lives and our family and friends, and it's just something that for us it's almost like it's crazy that it's even a social issue. It's a basic human right that people are like acting like it's some opinion or some kind of like, how do you say, it's like, oh, like for example, I'll take a song like Personal. That's very much about that. I was inspired by conversion therapy, right? Because I was hearing a lot of people I love were being talked about that, right? um that shouldn't even be like an opinion. It's not about like religious freedom or anything. It's just basic rights to be who you are. And I think that's the one that's been really, our music has been very inspired by and surrounding because of what's going on in our personal lives as well. So that's something that we're very passionate about. But given where I grew up with so much social inequality, that's another thing that for me is always like really stuck with me. It's like the fact that here I am eating an overpriced burger and a kid can't even buy pencil to go to school. I used to do work in schools that had open sewage going through the classroom, like just straight up for like kids, and um, that one was always a big one for me growing up, and something I always try to do when I can, help when I'm back home and whatnot. So I know that was a long answer, so feel free to.
No, it was perfect. We support that so much, and I have to like do my fingers because I don't want to be too loud with my class. Because give them an Oscar. No, no. But I love that. We love that. There's something about being able to genuinely give that love to people, without it being called charity. Because a lot of people hate that word charity.
Mhm.
But when you really go within yourself and you say, what am I really doing this for? You don't think to yourself, oh, this is for charity. No, you say this is for these people because they really need it. This is for these young people because this is the condition that they're living in. This is what they're seeing every day. And if I'm not being the one who is doing this, then who will?
Mhm.
So like we're all about that. So we're definitely like loving that you do that and you're passionate about it. That's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's I think what you said is super interesting about the idea of charity, right? Because so many people go out and do charity so they could either sleep better at night or they could talk about it, right? It's like those TikTokers who are like, "Hello, homeless person. Do you want $100?" I'm like, why don't you just do that away from the fucking camera? Like, if you're truly a nice person. But there's also a feeling of being overwhelmed with all the problems in the world and feeling like, what can I truly do? And I felt this when I was doing a lot of work in Brazil. Like, there's not only the million problems, but there's bureaucracy and all this stuff getting in the way. So I find, at least with music, um, you know, if I feel like I can empower myself to be who I want to be and who I am and to explore and live the life the way I want to be, hopefully that could rub off on other people, and help them get to wherever they need to be. So that's kind of the most beautiful part about art.
See, that's beautiful.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
And we hope
Truly.
it does. That's why we're on a mission to spread the music and spread the love, because we believe music is medicine,
Hmm.
and that's our passion. So we hope that your music reaches the world, and not just your music, but your platform and your brand and your message, because like you said, a lot of people are doing this, I don't know, clown faces or all this
It's a
stuff.
gimmicks.
Yeah.
And that's okay too. It's theater,
Hmm.
it's entertainment, but at the same time, what is your intention?
Mhm.
And I love that. I love that about you. And I'm grateful that we stumbled across you drowning and
Yeah.
you're okay.
I'm really grateful for that happening too. And when I talked about like cosplay rock, which is like bands trying to like respect, they're doing something that they believe in, and I think it's also not all art needs to be heavy, right? Sometimes you want something that's just light. Sometimes you want just your little salad, but sometimes I want like of something deep. And I think that we need to have space for both, and I think that sometimes the deep stuff's been ridiculed. And I think that sucks because that means people are not getting in touch with who they really are.
That's absolutely true. I feel like that also is very true for example, the rap industry. It's more so about I heard somebody say this the other day and I thought, wow, that's so true. When you are a true artist in a certain way, you see people up there that they're like wordsmiths. For me, you guys are wordsmiths because there's such a deeper meaning behind the music that you're putting out compared to something that's more about clubbing and partying.
Hmm.
We have so much music about clubbing and partying in all genres right now, everywhere.
Yeah.
But like you said, the deeper stuff, the conscious music of the world, that's what I'm choosing to call it. The conscious music of the world that is thought provoking, that makes you feel those raw emotions like that. It's been like, not that it's stagnant, but it's not getting as much press
Uh-huh. Definitely.
because what's popular is,
Yeah.
but, but it's really like,
That's
like
why
this.
you come here and rock with the mixtape
Yeah.
and
Hell
add
yeah.
color because we're bringing it to.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
Yep, and we
Yeah.
don't have it any other way. Um.
I know that.
So,
And
go
just
ahead.
so what you say also, like, in a world where art is being subjugated to 15-second content, it's really hard to get deep in 15 seconds, right? So it's a lot easier to do the other stuff. So, but I do think that there's a backlash to that. I do think that it's easy to get caught in the noise, but it's like just stick to your path and do what you think is right, because or else you're just going to be a shitty imitation of something that you don't even believe in. So it's like, what's the point? You know?
It's absolutely true.
Yeah, we hear it every day. Well, we're also on a mission to help artists because we're artists ourselves, and it can be hard in the music industry. And the three of you as a band, and even as a team beyond the three of you, um, you do a lot of independent marketing and branding for yourself, which is very common nowadays. What advice can you give to somebody who's an up and coming artist and they're not sure if they can be successful in the music industry?
Um, So the cheesy thing to be say would be like, go ahead and believe in what you are, and that's true. I think it's true. You should truly believe in, like, but there's a few things. It's look in the mirror and say, do I need to do this for my personal existence? Like, is this fun? Do I like the idea of being an artist? Or do I truly want, or am I truly an artist, right? And it doesn't mean like, I'm not saying like, oh, Kiko's a great artist, but I truly believe that I wake up every day and I know I've thought of other ways out. It's definitely not like an easier life. Like I wish my ambitions were to like work on Wall Street or something, but they're not. This is who I am, and I think that you have to really question like, is this something that you need? And if you don't need it to do it full time, don't. In fact, do it as a hobby. Art doesn't have to take on this full time thing, and doesn't have to be like, oh, I want to make it as an artist. This idea of make it is so caught up in capitalism, right? It's like if your art is making you feel better every day, you're making it, right? So I think that's the first question is like, see what kind of artist you want to be, but and then if you do decide that you want to like be a band that make a living off of this, I think you also have to ask yourself, you truly have to like judge yourself the way you judge other people. And I see so many artists being way too lenient on themselves and talking so much shit on other artists, which is so messed up. It's like, no, you should
Mm.
be learning from all these other people because everyone has something to offer. And then truly like hold yourself to a standard. Like, when I put this back to back with this band and this band, am I losing? Right? Does my mix sound worse? Okay, what am I going to do to solve that? I'm going to outsource if I can, or find a producer, that is going to want to join me on this mission. Like find another teammate. But I think just being really honest with yourself throughout the whole process, I think, is so important because then you stop chasing trends. You stop, doubting yourself and just really believe in who you are, and understand who you are. I think that that's the number one thing I'd say.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Stop comparing yourself to other people. And I think the biggest thing I got from that is like, check in with yourself and find out what level of urgency it is.
Hmm.
Like, and do you really enjoy making music? Because it's not easy, the music video or the song might come out great at the end of the day, but all the work that it takes behind the scenes, you gotta really want that.
Yeah, and a lot of
Yeah.
it sucks. Like a lot, it's not fun. Like a lot of times, just think about like how you're gonna market this thing that you did with so much integrity, and they're like, so
Mm.
how do I get it out on a platform run by some tech bros? Like, it's really difficult to like
Yeah,
stay honest, but I think that you should, So.
absolutely. I don't think you can really develop as an artist or as a creative at all if you're not being honest with yourself about how important it is to you for it to be like that.
Hmm.
How important is it for you to get your name out there and have supporters? How important is it to you for your brand or yourself to stick out and stand out and be, really genuinely showing people who you are?
Yeah,
Um,
not just that, but what are your intentions?
yeah,
Like, you're just doing this for,
clout.
attention or money, and that's okay, but just identify that and get clear.
Mhm.
Yeah, get clear with all that.
I used to say this all the time, but if you're gonna be real with anybody, be real with that person that is looking back at you in the mirror,
100%.
because that's the most valuable relationship you can ever have in life. So,
Definitely. And I say this because I also wasted a lot of my time, I'd say. Not waste because we always are a product of everything we've been through, but I definitely spent a lot of time trying to like, you know, especially when I was younger, there was like a new musical trend. I'm like, oh, this is cool because it's working. And then I'd be in the middle of a process and I'd be like, this is not me. Like, what am I doing? Like, and even though I was doing it well, I was like, I don't feel good about this. Then I abandoned that.
Yeah, I relate to that.
for sure,
We both do.
1,000,000%. So, what can we look forward to seeing from Added Color coming up?
So we're writing an album, and it's kind of written about 20 songs, and we're gonna dumb it down to about not dumb it down, cut them down to about like 10 or 12. And it's the first album we've written as a trio. So we've been nonstop doing this and kind of getting back on the road and playing shows again as a trio. But our big focus right now is just to keep putting out music and connecting with new people. And this album is like the coolest thing I've ever been a part of in my life. It's everything I've ever dreamed of achieving as a kid. Like you're like, I want to have this album that's me and it's unique, it's conceptual, and it's like it kind of happened without us knowing. We've been writing music for like kind of like a body of work for a while, and we're like, oh, maybe it'll be like a few singles or an EP. I'm like, guys, we have an album. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. So probably a lot of touring and this album, which is I'm so pumped about it. It's going to be so
Me
sick.
too.
If you want to travel and come out this way,
I
we
would
won't
love
say
to.
exactly where we're at, but we'll text it to you.
Oh
You can
hell,
just put that on your tour list.
hell yeah! But in the near
Yeah.
future, we are dropping a new track. So we're dropping a music video for Disposable. I think like April 4th. I should have had these dates written, like April 3rd or something. And then a new song called Day 7, which is a really weird song. We are dropping that I think April 12th or so. My dates might
Ooh.
be wrong, but it's around then. And if you go to on YouTube, there's a studio called Silver Chord Studios. It's run by the singer for this band Gojira, and they just produced us in their studio. It was like a live session that was amazing.
We shot it, yeah.
And yeah, so the first song on that session is Day 7. So we decided to open up with the song we're about to drop. Um,
Ooh, thanks.
yeah,
We're gonna drop the link down below. Click it.
hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Click it.
Yeah. I mean, the way that you expressed what this album meant to you, like that level of achievement and just finding your flow, like to me, that's success.
Mm,
Some people might think, oh, success is this in the future. But to me, that's success. You being true to your artistry and enjoying what you do. I think
Mhm.
the rest of it comes with that. I think that's amazing to hear that.
Yeah.
Sure. And I think it's important to think of the whole process and not just this arbitrary end goal, which you don't even know, and really celebrate the little successes too, the little victories I think are so important. Like this week, an example of a little victory. So Metallica was my favorite band. My whole like I'm a musician because of Metallica. I'm a huge Metallica fan. And then this week, the bass player liked the video of us playing this new song at the studio. And I'm like, whatever, that's not going to change my career. But the fact that the bass player for Metallica watched 6 seconds of my video and liked it, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's a little victory for me this week. And that's a big one for the little Kiko that was like growing up on Metallica would be stoked right now. And those little like victories as you go, just be like, yeah, man, at least that's awesome. So just celebrate the little things along the way. I think it's so important.
That part.
That's huge. Congratulations to that too. That's so cool.
Yeah. We'll do this again because I want to clap. But yes, we love that. We love that for you.
So we're down to our last question, and we're doing a random word. We kind of want you to freestyle this word. And today's word is intuition. And I believe that the most powerful thing in the universe is the power of the heart's intuition.
Mm.
You also have a song called Intuition.
Mm-hmm.
So can you give us a little deeper meaning behind that song and what intuition means to you?
Honestly, you couldn't have picked a better word to segue from what we were just talking about. Because the whole thing about that song is about, the journey of an artist, and it was inspired. Daniel wrote the lyrics of that song, but you're kind of like on this journey to like comparing yourself to other people and like, what are you doing with your life? And oh my God, I'm not where I thought I would be. But and then waking up and being like, intuition has got me where I'm sitting. It's not ideal, but it's taught me to be me, or it's taught me to be free. Right? It changes. It's hard enough to live your life when your life's not what you're living. So it's very much about that. It's about really like, despite it all, follow your dreams and be true to who you are, because you only have this life, and if you keep living for other people, one day you're going to regret it, right? And we all, especially everyone who's an artist, there's a whole joke where like, the Thanksgiving dinner, it's like see the family, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm a musician. It's like, oh okay, when are you going to get serious, right? There's like some memes about that and stuff, but it's so true. People like live their life comparing, worrying like they have to justify something to someone else, but who? That's all in here, Like if you just learn to justify things to yourself, that's freedom. And I think that's what intuition is about. It's about finding freedom, being true to yourself.
Yes. We love that because you know what? That is the biggest lesson that you can learn in life. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like when I can look at how this year has began, because we went through like something really powerful at the beginning of this year, for example. And it just kind of shifted my whole perspective on like, holy shit, this life is so short. Like you would think it's long because people live to like 90 or 80 or whatever, but that's such a short time
So short.
that people don't even understand. You can make so much impact in that short amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
literally. So what are you going to use that energy for? What are you going to push for? And how can you use your intuition
Mm-hmm.
to bring it like to life?
Yeah.
How do you manifest that? How do you create that for yourself using your intuition to know what is aligned with you and how you feel? That's beautiful. I
Yeah.
appreciate you saying that.
Okay. And listen to it, right? That little
Yeah,
things there. It's like a survival instinct in all humans, right? And all animals have it. It's what like, you feel something's wrong, and it usually is. So just follow it for all the right, for the good reasons as well, and don't let all that noise in your head get in the way of that. I think
absolutely.
that's a lifelong goal, right? It's a work in progress for the rest of our lives. No one achieves it, but I think it's something to strive for.
Absolutely. Look, absolutely together.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We got it. We got it.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Thank
So
you,
much fun.
Kiko.
Y'all are so fun to hang with.
You're awesome. I mean, I would like to do this more often, just because your energy is so like powerful and unique and so kind. And we could just tell like you're a super gracious person and like if you're going to be anything in life, be gracious. It opens up doors for you, gives you different opportunities, and people can genuinely feel that. So we just want you to know that we appreciate you. We love you.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
And we will forever be locked in with Added Color. We will like, comment, share, subscribe, tell everybody about your business.
Yes,
Hell
if
yeah.
you're an Added Color fan, make sure that you share this video. Make sure you show some love.
Drop a comment
Yes.
And
and let
honestly,
us know.
thank you so much. Y'all have great energy as well. And I think what you're doing is so important for not only the artistic world, for but people's betterment and their empowerment, because we all need that, you know. And I before coming here today, I listened to one of your podcasts, and it made me feel great. So keep doing that, you know. And y'all are amazing, gracious, and all the things you said about me, I right back at you.
Thank you. We appreciate you so much. You have a beautiful and blessed rest of your day, King.
You too.
Peace.
Bye bye.